You have been lied to. Not by one person. Not by one book. But by an entire system that taught you to wait. To hope. To wish. To dream without building. To want without demanding from yourself. They told you the world is hard. That life is unfair. That success belongs to the lucky, the connected, the privileged. They trained you to see yourself as a victim of circumstance, a leaf blown by winds you cannot control. And you believed it. You wake up every day and you react. Someone speaks to you in a certain tone, and you react. The economy shifts, and you react. An opportunity doesn't come, and you react. You have made yourself a passenger in your own life, sitting in the back seat, complaining about the driver, never once reaching for the wheel. This ends today. Because there is a truth that has been hidden from you, not by conspiracy, but by your own refusal to accept the weight of it. This truth is so simple that most people dismiss it. So powerful that those who grasp it completely reshape their reality. Here it is: the world does not happen to you. You happen to the world. Every condition you face, every circumstance you blame, every limitation you curse, these are not walls built by fate. They are mirrors. Reflections of what you have accepted in your mind as true and inevitable. You think small thoughts and you get small results. You think defeated thoughts and you live a defeated life. You think like a beggar and the world treats you like one. This is not poetry. This is law. The universe does not care about your excuses. It does not grade on a curve. It does not give participation trophies. It responds only to one thing: the dominant frequency of your thought, sustained over time, backed by action. Most people will never hear this message. They will live and die believing that success is something that happens to other people. That greatness is for those born under a different star. That the world is fixed and they are powerless. But you are here. Right now. Reading these words. And that means something in you has not given up. Something in you knows there is another way. Before we go further, I want you to do something. If you are serious about changing your life, if you are ready to stop being a reactor and become a creator, subscribe to this channel right now. And leave a comment telling me where you are watching from. Not for me. For you. Because that simple act is the first test of whether you are willing to move when instruction is given. Whether you will act or just consume and forget. Do it now. Because what I am about to share with you will only work if you are willing to do what most people will not do. Think what most people will not think. Become what most people will not become. The world will bend for you. But first, you must become unbendable. Listen carefully. There is a principle operating in your life right now. It has been operating since the day you became conscious. It will operate until the day you die. You cannot escape it. You cannot negotiate with it. You can only align yourself with it or suffer the consequences of violating it. This principle is simple: you become what you think about. Not what you wish about. Not what you hope about. Not what you talk about at parties or post about on social media. What you actually think about, consistently, with emotional intensity, in the private quiet of your own mind. Your thoughts are not passive. They are not innocent. They are the most powerful force in your possession. They are seeds. And the world around you is the harvest. Show me a person who thinks about poverty, and I will show you a person who lives in lack. Show me a person who thinks about injustice and victimhood, and I will show you a person who finds persecution everywhere. Show me a person who thinks about possibility, growth, and contribution, and I will show you a person the world makes room for. This is not mysticism. This is mechanics. Your mind is a broadcasting station. Every thought you think, every image you hold, every word you repeat to yourself, these are signals. They go out into the invisible realm of energy and attraction, and they come back to you as circumstances, people, opportunities, and obstacles. You are not attracting what you want. You are attracting what you are. And what you are is determined by what you think. Now, understand this clearly. Most people think they think. They do not. They are thought. They are bundles of inherited opinions, borrowed beliefs, and conditioned reflexes. They repeat what their parents said. What their teachers told them. What the news confirms. What their failures have taught them to expect. And they call this thinking. It is not. It is mental slavery. Real thinking is rare. Real thinking is deliberate. It is the act of taking control of your inner narrative and refusing to let circumstances, emotions, or other people write the script. Real thinking requires you to examine every belief you hold and ask, is this true, or did I just accept it? Does this serve me, or does it limit me? Did I choose this thought, or did it choose me? Most of what you believe about yourself is not true. It is simply repeated so many times that it feels true. You are not too old. You are not too young. You are not too uneducated. You are not unlucky. You are not cursed. You are not broken. You are asleep. And the first step to waking up is recognizing that your results are not random. They are lawful. There is a direct, unbreakable connection between the quality of your thinking and the quality of your life. If you think confused thoughts, your life will be chaotic. If you think fearful thoughts, your life will shrink. If you think abundant thoughts, backed by purpose and action, your life will expand. This is the great law. You can test it today. You can prove it in your own experience. But you cannot escape it. Now, some of you are already resisting this. You are thinking of exceptions. You are listing reasons why this does not apply to you. You are remembering times when you thought positively and nothing happened. Stop. That resistance is the very mechanism that has kept you stuck. Your mind is protecting the identity you have built. It is defending your right to stay the same. It is afraid of the responsibility that comes with this truth. Because if you accept that your thoughts shape your reality, you can no longer blame anyone. You can no longer hide behind circumstances. You can no longer excuse yourself. You become the cause. And most people would rather stay the effect, because being the effect is comfortable. It allows you to complain. It allows you to wait. It allows you to avoid the hard, daily work of mastering your own mind. But comfort is the enemy of greatness. You were not born to be comfortable. You were born to build, to create, to rise, to expand, to contribute something that only you can contribute. And none of that happens in the soft, easy place of blaming the world. It happens when you accept this truth: your life is your responsibility. Completely. Totally. Without exception. Not 50%. Not 90%. 100%. Yes, things happen that you do not control. People betray you. Economies collapse. Loved ones leave. Accidents occur. But your response is always yours. And your response determines your future. The man who loses his job and thinks, "I am finished," is finished. The man who loses his job and thinks, "This is a redirection," finds a new path. Same event. Different thought. Different result. The woman who faces rejection and thinks, "I am not enough," shrinks. The woman who faces rejection and thinks, "That was not my door," keeps walking until she finds the one that opens. Same circumstance. Different interpretation. Different destiny. Do you see it now? You are not a victim of the world. You are a sculptor of it. But the chisel is in your mind, not in your hands. Every moment you spend in worry is a moment spent creating more of what you fear. Every moment you spend in gratitude is a moment spent magnetizing more of what you desire. Every moment you spend in clarity, purpose, and disciplined thought is a moment spent bending reality toward your vision. The world does not bend for the weak. It does not bend for the passive. It does not bend for those who think like everyone else. It bends for the person who knows what they want, thinks about it constantly, refuses to be distracted by appearances, and moves with the confidence of someone who understands that failure is only feedback. You have been given a mind. Not to echo the crowd. Not to repeat what is popular. Not to justify why you cannot. You have been given a mind to create. To decide. To override the default programming of fear and limitation and replace it with vision, faith, and action. This is the big idea. This is the foundation. This is the beginning of everything. You become what you think about. Not sometimes. Not if you are lucky. Always. Now the question is, what have you been thinking about? Have you been thinking about what you lack, or what you are building? Have you been thinking about who wronged you, or who you are becoming? Have you been thinking about the obstacles, or the outcome? Your answer to that question explains your life right now. All of it. The money you make. The relationships you have. The confidence you feel. The opportunities that come. The doors that open or stay closed. It all traces back to thought. And if you do not like what you see in your life, you do not need a new world. You need a new mind. Change the thought, and you change the trajectory. Change the trajectory, and you change the destination. Change the destination, and you change your life. This is not theory. This is the operating system of reality. And from today forward, you will never be able to unhear it. You will never be able to pretend you do not know. You will never again have the luxury of blaming the world. Because now you know. The world bends for those who think in alignment with their purpose, with discipline, with faith, and with relentless focus. And if you are willing to master your mind, the world will have no choice but to make room for you. Now we must go deeper. Because knowing the principle is not enough. You must see why you have not been living it. You must confront the patterns that have kept you locked in mediocrity. And you must face them honestly, without defense, without excuse. This will not be easy. But nothing worth having ever is. The first mistake you have been making is this: you think casually. You do not guard your mind. You let any thought walk in and set up camp. You scroll, you consume, you listen to gossip, you entertain doubts, you replay past failures, you imagine worst-case scenarios. And then you wonder why your life feels chaotic. Your mind is not a garbage dump. It is a garden. And right now, you have let weeds take over. You have let fear, distraction, and negativity grow wild, choking out everything that could bloom. You think it does not matter. You think, it's just a thought. But it is never just a thought. It is always a seed. And seeds always produce harvests. Every time you think, I can't, you plant a seed of limitation. Every time you think, I'm not ready, you plant a seed of delay. Every time you think, this never works for me, you plant a seed of failure. And then you are surprised when your life reflects exactly what you planted. You have been careless with your mind. And your results are showing it. The second mistake is this: you think reactively, not proactively. You wake up and immediately check your phone. You see what the world wants you to think about. You absorb the news, the drama, the complaints. You let other people set the agenda for your mind. By the time you have been awake for 30 minutes, you have already lost control of your thoughts. You are no longer steering. You are being steered. And then the day unfolds in reaction. Someone says something that irritates you, and you spend an hour replaying it. A bill comes, and you spiral into stress. A plan falls through, and you sink into disappointment. You are ping-ponging through life, bouncing from one emotion to another, never once stepping back and asking, what do I choose to think about this? Let me tell you something that will change everything if you let it. You do not have to think the first thought that comes. You can pause. You can question. You can replace. You are not obligated to follow every mental impulse. You are not required to believe every fear. You are not a slave to your emotions. You are the master. Or you should be. But you have given that power away. You have let circumstances dictate your thoughts. You have let people dictate your thoughts. You have let your past dictate your thoughts. And now your life is a reflection of that surrender. The third mistake is this: you think without purpose. You have no clear vision of what you are building. You have no definite aim. You drift from day to day, thinking whatever feels comfortable, whatever requires no effort, whatever the crowd around you is thinking. And because you have no target, you hit nothing. Let me ask you a question: what do you want? Not what sounds good. Not what you think you should want. What do you actually want? Can you say it in one sentence? Can you see it clearly in your mind? Can you describe it in detail? Most people cannot. They have vague wishes. I want to be successful. I want to be happy. I want to be free. Those are not goals. Those are fantasies. A goal is specific. It has shape. It has weight. It has a deadline. It lives in your mind with such clarity that you could draw it, describe it, and feel it as if it were already real. Without that clarity, your thoughts scatter. You think about 100 things and build nothing. You want everything and commit to nothing. You start and stop, wondering why nothing ever takes root. It is because you have no concentrated thought. You have no definite purpose. You are trying to create a life with the mental discipline of a child flipping through channels. The world does not bend for the distracted. It bends for the focused. The fourth mistake is this: you think in pictures of failure instead of pictures of success. Close your eyes right now. Think about the thing you say you want most. What do you see? Do you see yourself succeeding, thriving, receiving, celebrating? Or do you see yourself falling short, being rejected, looking foolish, failing again? Be honest. Most of you see the failure. Most of you imagine the worst. You rehearse disaster in your mind 1,000 times and then wonder why you feel anxious and stuck. You are programming yourself for defeat. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. Every time you picture failure, you train your body and mind to expect it, to brace for it, to move toward it. And then when you do fail, you say, "See? I knew it." But you did not predict it. You created it. You must reverse this. You must become ruthless about the images you allow in your mind. You must see yourself succeeding so many times that success becomes familiar. Expected. Inevitable. This is not pretending. This is not delusion. This is mental rehearsal. This is how champions train. This is how builders build. The fifth mistake is this: you think alone. You surround yourself with people who think small, who complain, who doubt, who settle. And you absorb their thoughts like a sponge. You cannot soar with eagles if you are surrounded by turkeys. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. If you spend your time with people who think poverty, you will think poverty. If you spend your time with people who think limitation, you will think limitation. This is not snobbery. This is survival. You must protect your mind by choosing your associations carefully. You must seek out those who are where you want to be. You must listen to voices that expand you, not diminish you. And you must be willing to walk away from relationships that keep you small, even if they are comfortable, even if they are familiar, even if they are family. Your future is more important than anyone's feelings. The sixth mistake is this: you think the way you have always thought and expect a different result. You say you want change, but you keep the same mental habits. You keep the same conversations. You keep the same routines. You keep the same identity. And nothing changes. Because you cannot have a new life with an old mind. You cannot build a fortune with poverty thinking. You cannot attract opportunity with a victim's mentality. You must become a different thinker. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel like it. Now. You must audit every thought and ask, does this move me toward my goal or away from it? If it moves you away, you discard it. Immediately. Without sentimentality. Without negotiation. This is war. A war for your future. And the battlefield is your mind. Most people lose this war because they do not even know it is happening. They think thoughts are just thoughts, harmless, invisible, inconsequential. But every thought is a vote for the life you will live. And right now, you have been voting for limitation, delay, and mediocrity. That ends today. From this moment forward, you think with intention. You think with discipline. You think like someone who knows that thoughts are tools, and you wield them with precision. You stop entertaining fear. You stop rehearsing failure. You stop justifying delay. You start thinking like the person you are becoming. You start speaking like the person you are becoming. You start acting like the person you are becoming. And when you do this consistently, the world has no choice but to respond. Because the world does not see who you were. It does not care about your excuses. It only sees the frequency you are broadcasting right now. Change the frequency, and you change the response. Change the response, and you change your life. This is not motivational fluff. This is not positive thinking. This is the hardest, most disciplined work you will ever do. Because it is easy to change what you do. It is much harder to change what you think. But that is where all change begins. In the silent, invisible realm of thought. Master that, and you master everything. Now we arrive at the turning point. You have seen the mistakes. You have confronted the patterns. You have looked honestly at the way you have been thinking and the life it has produced. Now you must choose. You can close this video and return to your old ways. You can nod in agreement and change nothing. You can let this moment pass like all the others. Or you can decide, right here, right now, that you will never think the same way again. This is not a small decision. This is the decision that determines everything that follows. Because when you change the way you think, you change the way you see. And when you change the way you see, you change the way you move. And when you change the way you move, you change what you attract, what you build, and what you become. The new mindset begins with total responsibility. Not partial. Not conditional. Total. From today forward, you own everything. The good, the bad, the fair, the unfair. You own your emotions. You own your results. You own your direction. You do not blame the economy. You do not blame your upbringing. You do not blame your circumstances. You do not even blame yourself in a way that paralyzes you. You simply say, this is mine. I created it with my thoughts, my choices, my actions. And because I created it, I can change it. This is not burden. This is power. Because if you are the cause, you are also the solution. You are not waiting for permission. You are not waiting for a sign. You are not waiting for conditions to be perfect. You decide. And then you build. The new mindset includes clarity of purpose. You know what you want. You write it down. You define it. You make it so clear that a child could understand it. And then you think about it every single day. Not once in a while. Not when you feel inspired. Every day. You wake up and you rehearse your purpose. You see it in your mind. You feel it in your body. You speak it out loud. You live as if it is already unfolding. This is not fantasy. This is focus. The mind cannot hit a target it cannot see. And most people never define the target. They aim at nothing and hit it every time. You will not make that mistake again. You will carry your purpose like a compass. It will guide your decisions. It will filter your opportunities. It will protect you from distraction. And when doubt comes, when fear whispers, when others question you, you will return to your purpose and remember why you started. The new mindset includes unwavering faith. Not blind hope. Not wishful thinking. Faith. Faith is the ability to see the invisible and treat it as real. To act on what has not yet manifested. To move forward even when the path is unclear. You do not need to see the whole staircase. You only need to take the first step. And then the next. And then the next. Faith is built through action. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when you do not feel like it, you strengthen your faith. Every time you honor your word to yourself, you prove that you are trustworthy. And when you trust yourself, the world begins to trust you too. The new mindset includes discipline. You do not think when it is convenient. You think with intention, at scheduled times, with focus and energy. You guard your mind like a fortress. You are careful what you allow in. You are selective about what you watch, what you read, who you listen to. You create rituals. Morning routines that set the tone for your day. Evening routines that prepare your mind for rest and renewal. You do not leave your thoughts to chance. You architect them. And you do this every day. Not when you feel motivated. Not when life is easy. Every day. Because discipline is the bridge between thought and reality. Without it, your thoughts remain wishes. With it, they become blueprints. The new mindset includes resilience. You understand that obstacles are not punishments. They are tests. They are training. They are the universe asking, how badly do you want this? When you face rejection, you do not collapse. You adjust. When you face failure, you do not quit. You learn. When you face criticism, you do not shrink. You evaluate, extract what is useful, and discard the rest. You become someone who cannot be stopped by circumstances. You become someone who bends circumstances to your will through persistence, creativity, and refusal to accept defeat. The world does not reward the talented. It rewards the relentless. The new mindset includes service. You are not building a life just for yourself. You are building something that contributes. Something that lifts others. Something that leaves the world better than you found it. This is not altruism. This is strategy. The more value you create for others, the more value flows back to you. The more problems you solve, the more the world compensates you. The more you give with the right spirit, the more you receive. But you must give first. You must add value first. You must show up, serve, and solve before you demand reward. The new mindset includes patience. You understand that success is not a sprint. It is a compound effect. Small disciplines, repeated daily, over months and years. You do not quit when results do not come immediately. You trust the process. You trust the law. You trust that the seeds you are planting will produce a harvest, even if you cannot see it yet. Patience is not passive. It is active trust. It is continuing to work, continuing to think right, continuing to move forward, even when nothing seems to be changing. And then, one day, everything changes at once. The new mindset includes gratitude. You do not wait until you have everything to be grateful. You are grateful now. For what you have. For what you are becoming. For the lessons, the challenges, the growth. Gratitude shifts your frequency. It moves you out of lack and into abundance. It opens your eyes to opportunity. It attracts more of what you appreciate. And it protects you from the poison of entitlement and bitterness. The new mindset includes identity. You are no longer the person you were. You are the person you are becoming. You speak differently. You walk differently. You make decisions differently. You say, I am someone who keeps my word. I am someone who finishes what I start. I am someone who thinks clearly and acts boldly. I am someone the world makes room for. And you say it until your subconscious believes it. Until your body believes it. Until your actions prove it. Because identity shapes behavior. And behavior shapes results. Change your identity, and you change everything. This is the turning point. This is the moment you stop living like everyone else and start living like someone destined for greatness. You do not need to be perfect. You need to be committed. You do not need to have it all figured out. You need to take the next step. You do not need to be fearless. You need to act in spite of fear. The world is waiting for you to rise. It is waiting for you to claim your space. It is waiting for you to think, speak, and move like someone who knows their worth and refuses to settle. And when you do, the world will bend. Not because it likes you. Not because it feels sorry for you. But because it must. Because that is the law. Now we move into action. Because principles without practice are useless. Knowledge without application is entertainment. You have heard the truth. You have seen the mistakes. You have embraced the new mindset. Now you must build the habits that will make that mindset permanent. What I am about to give you is not optional. These are not suggestions. These are commands. And your willingness to follow them will determine whether you are serious or simply curious. First, take control of your morning. The first hour of your day sets the frequency for everything that follows. If you start your day scrolling, reacting, or rushing, you have already lost. You must create a morning ritual that centers your mind, clarifies your purpose, and strengthens your resolve. Here is what you do. You wake up at the same time every day. Not when you feel like it. At the same time. This trains your mind and body to expect discipline. You do not touch your phone for the first hour. You do not check messages. You do not consume. You create. You spend the first 10 minutes in silence. Sit. Breathe. Let your mind settle. This is not meditation for relaxation. This is preparation. You are clearing the noise so you can think clearly. Then you spend 10 minutes reviewing your purpose. Read your goals. See them in your mind. Feel them in your body. Speak them out loud. Remind yourself what you are building and why it matters. Then you spend 10 minutes in gratitude. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. Not the same things every day. New things. Train your mind to look for abundance. Then you move your body. Walk, stretch, exercise. Movement wakes you up. It clears stagnant energy. It signals to your mind that you are alive and ready to act. Then you feed your mind. Read something that expands you. Listen to something that challenges you. Fill your mind with ideas that elevate your thinking. Do this every morning. No exceptions. Not on weekends. Not on holidays. Every morning. Because how you start your day determines how you live your life. Second, guard your inputs. You are not a passive receiver. You are a selective curator. From today forward, you decide what enters your mind. You do not consume everything. You consume intentionally. You stop watching the news every day. It is designed to make you afraid, angry, and distracted. It serves no purpose in your growth. You stop scrolling social media mindlessly. If you use it with intention. You follow people who are where you want to be. You engage with content that teaches, inspires, or informs. Everything else is noise. You stop listening to people who complain, gossip, or think small. You remove yourself from conversations that drain you. You protect your mental space like it is sacred. And you replace the junk with substance. You read books written by people who have done what you want to do. You listen to ideas that stretch your thinking. You surround yourself with voices that demand more of you, not less. Your mind is the most valuable asset you have. Treat it that way. Third, think on paper. Your mind is powerful, but it is also chaotic. Thoughts swirl, repeat, contradict, and fade. You must capture them. You must organize them. You must examine them in the light. Every day, you write. You write your goals. You write your plans. You write your thoughts. You write your fears, and then you question them. You write your wins, and then you celebrate them. Writing forces clarity. It reveals what you actually think versus what you think you think. And it creates a record. A map. A trail you can follow back when you feel lost. You do not need fancy journals. You need a notebook and a pen. And you need the discipline to use them every day. Write in the morning. Write in the evening. Write when you are confused. Write when you are inspired. Your hand moves, and your mind clears. Fourth, speak your reality into existence. Words are not neutral. They are creative. They shape your beliefs, your emotions, and your actions. You must become ruthless about the words you speak, especially the words you speak about yourself. You stop saying, "I can't." You stop saying, "I'm not good at this." You stop saying, "This never works for me." Those words are curses. And you are cursing yourself. Instead, you say, "I am learning." You say, "I am building." You say, "I am becoming the person who does this naturally." You speak about your future as if it is already unfolding. You say, "I am someone who keeps their word." You say, "I am someone who finishes what I start." You say, "I am someone the world makes room for." You speak with certainty, not hope. With confidence, not arrogance. With clarity, not confusion. And you do this out loud. In private. In your car. In your home. In the mirror. Because your subconscious listens to your words. And it believes what you repeat. Change your words, and you change your beliefs. Change your beliefs, and you change your life. Fifth, act before you are ready. You will never feel ready. You will never have all the answers. You will never have perfect conditions. And if you wait for those things, you will wait forever. The new you acts in the face of uncertainty. The new you moves before the path is clear. The new you builds the plane while flying it. Every day, you do one thing that scares you. One thing that stretches you. One thing that moves you toward your goal, even if it is uncomfortable. You make the call you have been avoiding. You start the project you have been delaying. You have the conversation you have been fearing. You do not wait for confidence. Confidence comes from action, not before it. You act, and then you adjust. You act, and then you learn. You act, and then you grow. This is how you prove to yourself that you are capable. This is how you build momentum. This is how you become unstoppable. Sixth, review your day. You do not just live your day and move on. You examine it. You learn from it. You improve it. Every evening, before you sleep, you spend 10 minutes reviewing. You ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me toward my goal? What did I do that moved me away? What did I learn? What will I do differently tomorrow? You do not judge yourself harshly. You simply observe. You are a scientist studying your own life, collecting data, refining your approach. And you celebrate your wins. Even the small ones. Especially the small ones. You kept your word to yourself today. Celebrate it. You resisted distraction. Celebrate it. You took action in the face of fear. Celebrate it. This reinforces the behavior. It trains your mind to seek more wins. It builds momentum. And then you prepare for tomorrow. You write down your top 3 priorities. You see yourself completing them. You set your intention. You do not leave tomorrow to chance. You design it. 7th, build your faith through consistency. Faith is not given. It is built. One promise kept. One action taken. One day at a time. You commit to these practices for 30 days. Not 3 days. Not when you feel like it. 30 consecutive days. You do them imperfectly. You do them tired. You do them when no one is watching. Because this is not about perfection. This is about proof. You are proving to yourself that you can keep your word. That you can think differently. That you can act differently. That you can become different. And after 30 days, you do it for another 30. And another. Until these habits are no longer things you do. They are who you are. This is how you become the person the world bends for. Not through one grand gesture. Not through a lucky break. But through the daily, unglamorous, disciplined work of mastering your mind and aligning your actions with your purpose. You do the work in private, and the world rewards you in public. You build the character when no one is watching, and the opportunities appear when everyone is. You think like a champion long before you live like one. And then, one day, you wake up and realize, the world has bent. Not because you forced it. Not because you got lucky. But because you became someone it could not ignore. Now we come to the end. But this is not an ending. This is a beginning. You have heard the truth. You have seen the path. You have been given the tools. Now there is only one question that matters: will you use them? Because everything I have shared with you is useless if you do not act. It does not matter how inspired you feel right now. It does not matter how much you agree with what you have heard. What matters is what you do in the next hour. In the next day. In the next week. Will you return to your old patterns? Will you let this moment fade into another forgotten piece of content? Or will you decide, right now, that this is the moment everything changes? Understand this: you are not a victim. You never were. You were simply unaware of the power you possess. You were simply untrained in the use of your own mind. But now you know. You know that your thoughts are not neutral. You know that your words are creative. You know that your identity shapes your behavior, and your behavior shapes your results. You know that the world does not happen to you. You happen to the world. And now that you know, you cannot unknow. Now that you have seen, you cannot unsee. Now that you have heard, you cannot unhear. You are responsible now. Fully. Completely. Eternally. And that responsibility is not a burden. It is a gift. Because it means you are not dependent on anyone. You are not waiting for permission. You are not hoping for rescue. You are the architect of your own life. The author of your own story. The creator of your own destiny. And the world is waiting for you to step into that power. It is waiting for you to stop thinking small. To stop speaking defeat. To stop acting like someone who is owed something instead of someone who is building something. The world makes room for builders. For thinkers. For those who take responsibility, act with purpose, and refuse to quit. It makes room for those who see obstacles as opportunities. For those who see failure as feedback. For those who see rejection as redirection. It makes room for those who think clearly, speak powerfully, and act consistently. Are you that person? Or are you still waiting to become that person? Because there is no waiting. There is no one day. There is only today. This moment. This choice. You can live the rest of your life as you have lived up until now. You can keep thinking the same thoughts, speaking the same words, taking the same actions. And you will get the same results. Or you can decide that today is different. That today you begin the work. The real work. The deep, daily, disciplined work of mastering your mind and reshaping your reality. You can decide that you will no longer be moved by circumstances. That you will no longer be defined by your past. That you will no longer think like everyone else. You can decide to become rare. And when you make that decision, and you back it with action, the world will have no choice but to respond. Doors will open that you did not know existed. People will appear who can help you. Opportunities will present themselves at the exact moment you need them. Not because of magic. Not because of luck. But because you have changed your frequency. You have changed what you are broadcasting. You have changed who you are. And the world always responds to who you are. So here is my final word to you. Do not let this be another video you watched and forgot. Do not let this be another moment of inspiration that fades by tomorrow. Let this be the line in the sand. Let this be the moment you look back on and say, that is when everything changed. Commit. Right now. Out loud if you have to. Say, I will think differently. I will speak differently. I will act differently. I will become the person the world makes room for. And then prove it. Not with words. With action. Start your morning ritual tomorrow. Guard your input starting today. Write your goals tonight. Speak your new identity into the mirror. Act on the thing you have been avoiding. Do it scared. Do it imperfectly. Do it alone if you have to. But do it. Because your future is not determined by your circumstances. It is determined by your decisions. And this is the most important decision you will ever make. You are not here by accident. You are not reading these words by chance. You are here because something in you knows you were made for more. And you are right. You were made for more. For greatness. For impact. For contribution. For a life that matters. But greatness does not come to those who wish. It comes to those who work. It comes to those who think with discipline, act with courage, and persist with faith. It comes to those who refuse to be stopped by fear, distracted by comfort, or defeated by failure. It comes to those who understand that the world does not bend for the weak. It bends for the strong. And strength is not born. It is built. One thought. One word. One action. One day at a time. You have everything you need. You have a mind. You have a will. You have a purpose, even if you have not fully defined it yet. And you have this moment. This singular, unrepeatable, powerful moment. What will you do with it? Will you scroll to the next distraction? Will you return to the same patterns that have kept you stuck? Or will you rise? Will you take responsibility? Will you commit to the work? Will you become the person you know you are capable of being? The choice is yours. It has always been yours. And it will always be yours. But know this, the world is watching. Not with judgment. With anticipation. It is waiting to see what you will do. It is waiting to see if you will step forward or step back. It is waiting to see if you will think like everyone else or think like someone destined for greatness. And when you step forward, when you commit, when you act, the world will bend. It will make room for you. It will open doors for you. It will reward you. Not because you are lucky, but because you are aligned. Aligned with the laws that govern success. Aligned with the principles that create results. Aligned with the truth that has been here all along, waiting for you to claim it. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your life. Think like this, and the world will bend for you. Now go. Build. Become. The world is waiting.